When is the right time to ask a woman about her sexual past? This is the topic I will be covering in today's video. So this question comes from a subscriber. We have a public comment from a guy called Mike, who says the following. Hi Christian, on which date should I ask a girl about her sexual past? I don't want to lose interest by asking it too early, but at the same time I'm scared that I will invest emotionally in her and then I will hear about her potentially bad past. Please help, as I'm dating a girl for 2 months now. We've been on 6 dates and I'm starting to think about it. Thanks for all the great work you do, I really appreciate it. Well, Mike, I appreciate the kind words and thank you for having the courage to ask this question. For those of you listening that are in a similar situation to Mike, pay attention. For those that are single and just simply willing to learn more about relationships, you also come to the right place, because the information I'm about to share is going to assist you in making a wiser decision moving forward. And even for the ladies listening, you want to ask this question to men too, to protect yourself and choose the right one. With that said, let's begin with the video. So Mike wants to know, on which date should you ask a girl about her sexual past? My answer is simple. As soon as possible. I recommend doing this on a first date, first week of talking. If you're extremely shy or you're insecure, you can do it on the second date or second week of interacting. After that, I would waste no more time. You see, the longer you wait, the harder it is. And what I'm saying here is what most men and women do because you are conditioned by listening to modern dating advice, which is all BS. Most young men and women are taught that it's disrespectful, that it's nosy, it's insecure, and you're going to push them away if you ask serious questions, especially about their sexual past, early on. Either you do this later when you're serious, or you don't ask at all because it's none of your business. And this couldn't be further from the truth. If I'm going to share my life with a woman, marry her and have children, then I have every right to know about the life choices she has made leading up to this point, so I can assess her character and background and see if she's going to be a good woman to have by my side. What mother are my children going to have? What if she gives you an STD? What if the synaptic routing in her brain is fried because she's had too many sexual partners? This is what you need to consider. Proverbs 18:22, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. You don't make, change, or build a wife or fix a wife, you find a wife. She comes together with the raw building blocks, the raw characteristics, or she's at least done something to prepare for wifehood and motherhood. She has, she's learned a little bit more. It's amazing to me how guys want to transform or try and save the wrong type of woman. It's not happening, mate. And when it comes to sexual past, most people are conditioned to don't ask, don't say anything. At the beginning, just have fun, keep it lighthearted, joke, be on your best behavior, have a conversation later. And this is the wrong information. And when I look around me and I look through all the case studies I've had in the last 3 years now on YouTube, one thing's always remained clear. I've seen more than enough relationships fail. And I see men and women from different cultures, ages and backgrounds with the same problem. They meet someone, they don't have serious conversations until later, they don't talk about compatibility, about values, about their childhood, about their past. They don't talk about that until later, or sometimes they never do. And next thing they know, they're 6 months in or 6 years into a marriage with children. All of a sudden, my partner left me. My wife or my husband doesn't want to be with me anymore. They stopped putting in effort. They're not really that into me. But the red flags were always there at the beginning, but you didn't ask, or you turned a blind eye to it. You're responsible for the quality of woman you choose. It's on you, it's in your hands. Okay, this is not an arranged marriage. You have free will. You choose. Don't come crying to me later, because people don't ask. Or they find out later and then they're miserable. And then all of a sudden it makes sense why there were so many issues in their relationship. So you ask. And if that person gets pushed away by your question, good riddance to them. Then they probably feel very guilty and ashamed. Therefore, they're doing you a favor by leaving. Okay, so you want to ask this question as soon as possible, waste no more than 1 or 2 weeks, first or second day. It's helped me a lot in my life. I've disqualified a lot of women by simply asking this question at the beginning. And they're only going to give you 4 different answers, which we're going to cover in this video. So what do you want to ask? Because you don't want to just go up to a girl and say, sit there like a robot in the interrogation room on the first date and say, how many people have you had sex with? It's how you say it. Your delivery matters. This is what I would say. I want to learn more about you so I can understand you better. Tell me more about your love life. What's happened to you in the past? In your last breakup or in your other relationships. How did you grow from those experiences? What did you learn from being with that ex or those exes? What was your takeaway? Right? And of course, I'd like to know, so how many men have you been with? Sexually speaking, how many guys have you had sex with? You see, now the way I'm saying it, it's direct and there's a reason behind it. I genuinely want to try and understand her life choices. Okay? And based on this question, which by the way, you only want to ask in person. When you're on a date, you ask this face to face because then there's no running away. You're going to see the micro expressions in their verbal and non-verbal communication. The tone of voice, it's all going to be there. For those of you that are in long distance, you live a few hours away, different country, different continent, don't ask this question on a text message where they have hours or sometimes even days to formulate a response. You want to ask this on a video call or a voice call. So you can at least hear the tone of voice and you can catch them in the act, right, of them answering you. Now that I've got that cleared up, you ask the question that I stated and you're going to have 4 different replies. If this woman is promiscuous and has a high body count, you're going to get the defensive reply. I don't want to talk about it. It's none of your business. How dare you? This is disrespectful. I'd never ask you about yours. You don't need to know. That's in the past. Why does that matter? Okay, so you're going to get a very combative and defensive reply. Remember, no answer is an answer. She's basically indicating that she in fact is promiscuous, doesn't want to ask you because it's offensive to her. And she knows what you're going to think of her. Therefore, you have a reason to walk away. Very simple. The second answer you're going to get is the, I'm not sure. I need to think about it. I can't really remember the number. I was with this guy. I don't think that guy really counts. She takes a moment. That means she slept with a lot of men, but she's thinking about what number she can tell you to sound more like a sweetheart and an angel. Because quite frankly, any man or woman with integrity knows. You slept with one person in your life, you're a virgin, maybe you slept with a few. You don't forget those experiences. Okay, do you have Alzheimer's? No, so you're not going to forget. So if you get a hesitant, I'm not sure, I need to think about it, the numbers start changing, you've got your answer there. Walk away. The third reply you're going to get is, she will actually tell you. Okay, there are some women out there with a high body count and for some reason they wear it as a badge of honor. Sometimes when I've asked women, they've given me that reply. Yeah, I've been with 18 men, 16 men, 12 men. All right, nice to meet you, and I leave. Because they're so promiscuous that they're comfortable. They're insensitive to male touch. They're insensitive to intimacy. It loses its value to them. So for them, they just think it's a recreational activity. So they don't even mind talking about it. They've conditioned themselves to believe that it's a good thing what they've done. So they're actually doing you a favor. But those are the types of girls that will tell you, yeah, I've slept with all these men, so what? All right, cheers for that information, and you leave. And last but not least is the answer you want to hear. When you ask that question to a woman who truly has integrity, she's got high moral standards, she's going to be happy you asked because she knows you're a man that's serious. And guess what? That sort of woman is, if you don't ask the question, at some point she will ask you too. So this woman is going to be glad you asked her, and her response is going to be the telling sign. She's going to use this as an opportunity to really show you she has integrity. She will tell you, Yes, Mike, I've been with one ex in the past or two exes. These were my experiences. This is what happened to me. But I value sex. For me, it's sacred. I don't sleep around. I don't do hookups. I don't give my body out. I think it's disgusting. I stay away from that lifestyle. You can look at the friends to make certain. If the friends are usually the same as her, like attracts like, she's telling you the truth, right? So she's going to make it clear to you that she's abstinent because she values sex as something to share with a future husband, not just for a casual one-night thing, okay? That's usually an indicator that she's telling you the truth. Furthermore, if you're uncertain whether she told you the truth, you can always ask this question again a few weeks or a few months later. Catch them off guard in the middle of a conversation, change topic. By the way, you told me a few weeks ago about your ex. I'm just curious again, what did you learn from that situation? What happened again? See if the same stories add up. Because if you're telling the truth, it's there. Nothing changes. It's consistent. It adds up. So a good woman, she's going to be open and tell you because she's got nothing to hide. She values integrity. So she's going to tell you, yes, I have a low body count. I've slept with 1, 2, maybe 3. That it's rarer the older a woman gets, but there are exceptions where men and women out there are still virgin. Okay? But the point is she makes it clear that sex is sacred to her and she's abstinent by choice. Right? So that's usually what you're going to hear from a good woman. That's the response. And then, of course, she's going to follow through and ask you the same. Because good women do not want to be with a man who's been sleeping around with them. Dozens of women. Because they want a man who's clean too. Right? Like attracts like. When you live a certain way, you expect the same from someone else. Which is why I'm trying to tell you men, if a woman really has this as a standard, not only is she going to live by it, she's going to expect the same of you. And she has a right to. So a good woman is just going to be open and she's going to tell you about her experiences. And it's usually going to be no more than a handful, if that the older she gets. But it's usually going to be men she was serious with. A boyfriend, a man she thought she would spend her life with, but it didn't work out. Usually what happened was she learnt the lesson once or twice. And since then she protects herself and doesn't give her body out anymore. You look at the actions, look at the fruits. That tells you everything you need to know. And that gives you confirmation that she values her purity. And quite frankly, even if you don't ask her about her body count, a good woman's going to come right out and tell you. And she's going to be curious about yours. So guys, that's really it. There's no secret to it. It's those 4 different answers you're going to get. And what I'm seeing here with Mike is he said, I don't want her to lose interest by asking it too early. This lets me know you've got low self-esteem and you lack standards. Because why are you so concerned about her losing interest? You should be more concerned about you wasting years of your life with the wrong woman. Because either way, this situation is a win-win for you. Either you have clarity that she has integrity and it's safe to continue on courting her, and you could potentially marry her one day, she's your future wife, or she's not the woman you're going to spend your life with. Therefore, once you are clear about that, you can walk away and stop wasting each other's time. So you either get closure one way or the other, and it's a win-win. You stop wasting each other's time, or she's right for you. You can continue on. And not to mention, because you asked this question earlier, that alleviates any doubt, any worry you have. You see, good women are going to ask you the same. You want to have these serious conversations at the beginning. Your lifestyle, your childhood, the people you have in your life, your environment, your friendships, your values, your thoughts on important things, family, marriage. You want a woman that knows what she wants. She wants to have a husband. She wants to have children, right? She's feminine. She's traditional. She's right with God. These things are very important. Ask at the beginning. You're only going to push a woman away if she's promiscuous, if she has red flags. Because quite frankly, if you've been getting to know this girl for 2 months and you've not asked her this question, Mike, this is telling me, obviously, she's not asked you either. Because you would have already had the conversation and you wouldn't have written the comment. So what is it telling me by the fact that she's not asked you this conversation? Number one, there's a chance here that she may have settled for you, whether physically, doesn't find you that attractive, or she doesn't really think you have the same values, but she's kind of going along with the wind, as most people do when they date now. So she's not traditional, she's not serious about courtship and marriage, or she's not serious about you. Therefore, since she's not serious, She's not interested enough to ask deep, important, serious questions about your life or your past because she doesn't see you as a future husband. Girl number two, we have a girl here who's just genuinely emotionally immature, young, isn't really clear about what she wants, so she's uncertain. You could even throw in there that she may be shy. Okay? But even if you ask the shy girl, she's going to give you the answer. You see, and now you've put yourself, you've dug yourself into a deeper hole because as you mentioned here, you're dating her for 2 months, you're thinking about it, and you're scared that you will invest emotionally and hear about a potential past. Because you have to start asking yourself questions. Why is this girl not, why is she not bringing it up? Does that sound like a woman that's traditional? Does that sound like a woman who really considers you as a future husband or not? And obviously, if she's not even mentioning it at all, there's obviously, you can throw in the chance that she's also promiscuous because she's obviously avoiding to talk about it. Because if you are interested in asking her this question, it means you're also open in giving an answer to the same question, right? So what I'm saying here, Mike, is that you have a knowledge gap regarding relationships. You don't understand courtship, marriage, how to properly date a woman, which is what I'm saying here. And for those of you listening, don't wait like Mike did. Ask at the beginning. Do not waste your time. It's so simple. She's going to give you one of those 4 answers that I mentioned. You know, a lot of people have this idea that you can learn along the way, you can fix and change each other. No, you should find and accept each other as you are. And no man wants a woman who's promiscuous for marriage. No woman wants a man who's promiscuous for marriage. So you've got to start asking serious questions. You court with the intention to marry. Therefore, you're not wasting your time. It's very black and white. When you meet a woman, you're very clear on your values. You know exactly what you want and what you don't want. You're not there to waste years, move in and spend 5 years together, see where it goes, wherever the wind takes you. That's how you settle. That's how unwanted pregnancies happen. That's where people marry and have a sexless marriage and have a divorce. This is where domestic violence and abuse comes from. You're with the wrong person, but you reap what you sow. But you can actually save yourself by filling in your knowledge gap about relationships, getting very serious on what you want as a man. So when you meet a woman, you're doing this. Where are you from? Tell me everything about your life. I want to get to know you. And she does the same. And at the beginning, you have this dialogue where you communicate and you share everything. Little by little, but you start sharing deep things about each other's life. That builds trust. You have couples that have been together for 5 or 10 years and they don't know anything about each other because they're too afraid to ask. And that really tells you everything you need to know and it seals the deal. You're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. For the ladies, it's the same thing when it comes to men. It's in your hands. So Mike, you're 2 months in, don't waste any time. You know this girl now, you've been on 6 dates, ask her face to face. And she's going to give you one of those 4 answers. For the ladies, it's the same thing with a man. Okay? There's a lot of people out there that sleep around and they regret it. And then they try and be serious and find someone. And they're embarrassed. That's your choice. And for those of you that are single, ask this question as soon as possible. Don't wait time for your emotions to be invested and then you project your own interest level onto them the way you think they are, think they should be. It's not happening. Prevention is better than cure. Either she comes to you presentable as a wife or not. Either you come presentable as a man who's worthy of being a husband or not. And good women with integrity are going to read you like a book. As a man with integrity, with your standards screwed on properly, it's simple. You're reading her too. Because you're not there to waste your time. Either she's going to be the one for you that you spend your life with or not. You make your decision. So you've got to stop worrying about, oh, she's going to lose interest in me. What about you marrying the wrong woman? Is that not worse? It's like, do you not value your time and your energy and your commitment? Because if she's not going to be your wife, you get closure. Another woman out there in the world is going to be your wife. Focus on that, look towards that with happiness. So many people make decisions with emotions instead of righteousness, what is true, what is moral. It's exactly what I'm saying here. And I don't know how old you are, Mike. If you're young, you're in your teens, you're in your early to mid 20s, I can understand this. But mate, if you are late 20s, you're getting into your 30s, you need to completely do an overhaul and reassess your values. Because it gets to a certain point in your life where you have to understand marriage and family is serious. And because most people don't prepare, they listen to the wrong information, they're stuck in situations like this. How could you spend your life with a woman without knowing about her past, her childhood, her life, what she's been through, who she is? If you don't know someone, you can't really love them. And for those of you that are too shy, you're too much of a coward to ask a woman this question, lead with it. Be open about yourself. When you go on a date, say, listen, these are my values. To me, sex is sacred. As a man, this is my low body count. These were my experiences. This is what happened with my ex and my other ex. Since then, I learned the lesson. I'm waiting for a good woman. You lead with it. Being the leader means to take the first step. Go first. Direct. And then you invite her to open up. And, okay, this guy's quite forward. He's honest. He's told me the truth about his past. She's got no choice but to open up too. And if she still doesn't want to after that, you got your answer. Bye-bye. Okay, so for those of you that are shy, you can do that as well. You lead, you open up and talk about your past and see how she responds to that. Very simple. Don't waste weeks, months, or years before you ask this. There's some dating coaches out there who will tell you, never ask. Those guys are quite promiscuous. That's why they say that, because they never want the woman asking them, right? You hear a lot of people say, if a girl asks you about your body count, just say, gentlemen don't kiss and tell, or use some stupid lingo to make yourself sound cocky and smart. But you can't fool a woman with integrity. And a man with integrity, you ain't going to be fooled either. Remove your lust so you can see things clearly and make a decision based on your standards. Do what is right. Ask as soon as possible. Okay? Do not be afraid. Remember, either way you win. Either you find out that it's safe to continue on dating her because she's a moral woman and you could potentially marry her, or you see the red flag, you accept it, you walk away. You're not wasting each other's time anymore. She can go off and change and heal and grow and find someone else that's right for her, and you can do the same. There's no shame there. You get closure, or you get the woman that's right for you. There's always a lesson. It's always going to work out for you. So that's really what I have to say from Mike's comment. Now, I'm going to close the video on this. I made a free group recently on the school community where I have a community so men can comment, ask questions. I also gave access to my 2 weeks of my program, the first 2 weeks of my program for free. So everybody who joins, you have access to that so you can learn. Link is in the description. Click on it, join, I'll accept you in, and you can interact. You can interact with me as well. And for those of you that have a comment, a question, a video request like Mike, ask down in the comment section. If it's more private and you have a case study, an experience that's more private, send me an email. The link is in the description. And for those of you that would like to learn more about relationships or join my full relationship mastery program, click on my website, link in the description, book a free 20 to 30 minute call with me, and we can discuss all the details. With that said, hope you all have a wonderful day. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below about Mike's situation. And with that said, I'll chat with you all in the next one. God bless all of you and your families.